So we already know that there's an ongoing class action lawsuit against the DNC and Debbie Wasserman Schultz because they decided to rig the primaries in favor of Hillary Clinton. However, a local CBS affiliate in Philadelphia is reporting that there's another class action lawsuit against the DNC simultaneously. So they state the host committee for the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia has paid out nearly $1 million to staff members and local institutions from leftover money it raised to stage the event. But dozens of people who worked in the field elsewhere in the country for Democrats feel shortchanged and are now part of a class action federal lawsuit. The bonuses ranged from $500 for interns to more than $300,000 for the executive director. I think everyone's reactions is the same. It's obscene, says Justin Swidler, a Cherry Hill-based attorney. Swidler is pursuing a lawsuit on behalf of 40 to 50 field organizers all over the country whom he says were denied overtime compensation. One of the arguments that the Democrats are making is that they just don't have the money to pay overtime to their workers, said Swidler. The named defendants are the Democratic National Committee, the Pennsylvania Democratic Party, and 5 more state party organizations. These workers were out there in a campaign that was promising a $15 an hour minimum wage and expanding the overtime rights of workers, Swidler said. Former Governor Ed Rendell, who served as chairman of the host committee, points out those were totally different operations. He says none of the plaintiffs worked for the host committee, and it was not named in the suit. Swidler says she and others believed in the Democratic platform and ideals and put in 80 to 90 hours a week in the last stages of the race in support of Hillary Clinton. They got paid a flat salary of $3,000 a month, which isn't even minimum wage for some of the hours they were working, said Swidler. He says the lawsuit seeks fair pay for fair work and holding the Democratic Party to the very ideals that it embraces. So this case right here is emblematic of the broader issue that Democrats have. It's just that they're brazenly hypocritical because you have this party, they're championing the idea of a minimum wage increase. They're talking about how they're going to protect overtime pay. They talk about equal pay for equal work, and yet they can't even abide by their own principles. So the rules that they're going to mandate on the whole country, they can't even abide by themselves. How hypocritical is that? So while staff members who were organizing the Democratic Convention in Philadelphia got bonuses, well, people who were out in the field got nothing. They got shortchanged. And this is just another problem that the DNC has. I mean, they keep coming up with these lawsuits because they keep treating people unfairly. They keep committing fraud. And it's a broader issue. I mean, when it comes to Debbie Wasserman Schultz, when it comes to Democratic Party leaders in each state even, most of them use fraud as a business model. They are willing to help their own careers, do shady things to stomp on the grassroots activists if they're going to get promoted, if they're going to get raises. And this is just another example of that. I mean, you saw the interview that I did with Nico House where he talked about how they're looking out for themselves. It's not okay. So, I wanted to talk about this because the DNC has an image problem and they need to be reformed from top to bottom. And this just shows that that's the case.
Support this podcast by joining the independent progressive media revolution today at humanistreport.com.